All right, the SAG Awards happened last night on Netflix's YouTube channel. Let's talk about it. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of All Right, Let's Talk About It. My name is Savannah. I am your host, and I do film reviews and film industry commentary. Today, we are talking about the SAG Awards that happened this past Sunday. So, if you listened to my last episode, I try to give y'all a general view of what the next week is going to look like. And I did not mention the SAG Awards because I kind of forgot. Not entirely, though. I knew it was coming up. I just couldn't remember the date. Well, I was in my car Friday afternoon and it just kind of popped in my head like, hold up, we're almost in March. March 12th is the Oscars. We haven't had the SAG Awards yet. It has to be this weekend. It's the last weekend in February. So check my phone. Sure enough, February 26th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Netflix YouTube. I was very curious about that part. So I made time. I was able to watch it on my television via the YouTube app. You know, it's not unusual having live things on YouTube. That's normal for YouTube, but a show like this, live, very different. You know, it's one thing when you have like a live podcast show or a live interview or even like a live sermon, but this is large in comparison. I feel like it's such an undertaking and they decided to entrust this not just Netflix, but to YouTube. And I was just wondering, like, how are they going to, or who's going to want to sit and watch YouTube for that long besides a small child who can just flip from video to video to video? You know, I mean, these shows run like 3 hours. They're so long. How are they gonna make this work? Well, they did the dang thing. No commercials, might I add, because that was my number one question was like, are they gonna have commercials? Like, how is this gonna work? What about commercials? They didn't have any. They had little interludes that was, clips from past Golden Globes. There were a couple of clips with Robin Williams in it, which made me a little teary-eyed just to see him that way. But I love the SAG Awards. Out of the big three, the Golden Globe, SAG, and the Oscars, this one is definitely my favorite in terms of entertainment. It is always the most entertaining show. And I think it's because it's just the actors. This is just an opportunity for them to get together as a peer group and celebrate one another and, pat one another on the back for the year that they've had. Almost like a big staff meeting kind of. And it's always so funny. It's like the one time they really get to just let loose, be goofy, be themselves. And it was such an entertaining show. It was so funny. I think it's Audrey Plaza and Jenna Ortega having kind of a resting bitch face stare off thing at the podium. That was so funny. James Marsden is always so good looking. It was just a very entertaining show. And now we're on the road to the Oscars. Well, we have a lot to talk about. I'm not going to keep y'all super long for this. I just wanted a brief recap. So just to kind of, let y'all know, again, if you didn't hear my Golden Globes recap, I don't really care much for the television part. I don't watch a whole lot of television. I only watched a couple of episodes of Dahmer. No reason that I stopped. I think I just lost focus. And then I watched all of Wednesday, and that was it. I actually heard the names of television shows that I'd never even heard of. But yeah, so I don't really care much for television. It's the way it is. And we're just going to talk about the movie portion. So, who won, who lost, and what does this look like for the Oscars? There were some surprises. If anyone was doing any kind of bracket or betting, I'm sure people lost a whole lot of money. But I think probably the biggest surprise from the film side was Jamie Lee Curtis winning for Best Supporting Actress. Why was this such a shock? Because she won over Angela Bassett. Now, Angela Bassett, for her role in as Queen Ramonda from Black Panther, everyone was expecting her to win. She has been killing it this award season, picking up award after award after award. She did great at the NAACP Image Awards. I'm assuming, I don't know, I don't watch it, but that's what I heard. And people were expecting her to get the SAG Award. So when they announced Jamie Lee Curtis's name, my reaction was like, oh, yay. I was like, wait, hold up. Wait, what category is this? Wait, what? I think I screamed. I hollered. I was very much, and I did not see that coming. Very happy for Jamie Lee Curtis. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I still need to watch the second half. It's not my cup of tea. I understand why it's nominated. I respect the nomination. I wholeheartedly agree with the nomination, but the movie itself is just not for me. I can't get into it. I'm struggling with it. But I'm very happy for her. But everyone was expecting Angela Bassett to win. I think even those who were nominated were expecting Angela Bassett to win. And it was very much written on their faces when Jamie Lee Curtis won, the shock that it wasn't Angela. What does this mean for the Oscars, though? It kind of throws things up in the air because it's kind of not even quite a superstition, but it's almost an expectation that if you get the Golden Globe, you get the SAG, you're most likely going to get the Oscar. Well, here's the thing, though, and I've talked about this a little bit before. When it comes to voting with the Oscars, because you have to be a member of the Academy and you can't just join the Academy. You either get invited after being sponsored by at least two members, and you have to have a resume that kind of fits the bill, or you get nominated. So being nominated or winning an Academy Award gets you inducted into the Academy. So every actor who's in the Academy most likely is a member of SAG-AFTRA, but not everybody in the SAG-AFTRA Guild is a member of the Academy. However, the voting is basically the same. When it comes to the Academy voting, everyone gets to vote for Best Picture. Everyone. However, when it comes to the more individual awards, actors vote for actors, directors vote for directors, cinematographers vote for cinematographers. Because when you join the Academy, you can only join in one category. Even if you're someone who has written, directed, acted, produced, you're still only going to vote. You're still only going to be in one category. So I don't know how that works. Choose wisely, I guess. But yeah, so actors vote for actors. And if the actors from the Guild chose Jamie Lee Curtis over Angela Bassett, that could mean, because again, actors are voting for actors, and many of the actors in the Academy are members of the Screen Actors Guild, that could scream a little bit of trouble for Angela Bassett. Potentially. Let's be real here. I don't know. I don't know. If you had asked me a week ago who's going to win the SAG and who's going to win the Oscar, I would have said Angela Bassett. I think she's the shoe-in. Is she my pick? No. I was not impressed with anything remotely related to Black Panther at all, but I can recognize that she's clearly the favorite to win. I apparently not, at least not among actors, and that's where it's a little scary for her. But we'll see. We shall see. I think the rest of the night kind of went as normal. So you had Ke Huy Quan, who won for Best Supporting Actor for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Everything Everywhere All at Once basically swept. So they won Best Ensemble for Film, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress. And then this was kind of a letdown for me, Michelle Yeoh. I love her. I love her. Don't get me wrong. She won for Best Actress, but I was definitely hoping for Cate Blanchett. I loved Cate Blanchett in Tar. I thought she was just transcendent. So yeah, they pretty much swept. I think they actually broke a record for most wins by a single film. I mean, that's pretty much it. Because no one was nominated for Best Actor from that film, but I was super happy. I screamed, I hollered, I jumped for joy when Brandon Fraser won the award. He was so precious when he went up to accept. Just so grateful, so humble, so sweet. I mean, oh, he was my little childhood crush. Loved that man and his big blue eyes. And just to see him getting the respect and attention and love and praise that he deserves for his work on The Whale. If you have not seen it, God, it's incredible. It's so good. I love it. Definitely one of my favorites. But he's so deserving. I think people were a little unsure because Austin Butler won for Best Actor in a Drama for Elvis, but also Colin Farrell won for Best Actor in a Comedy Musical for Banshees of Inisherin at the Golden Globes. But with the SAG Awards, there is no comedy or drama in the film categories. It's all combined. So that's how we got, this short list. And it really is a battle between these three. These are the three guys going for it. Colin Farrell, Brendan Fraser, and Austin Butler. You better go, Austin Butler. He's about my age. So I basically watched this kid grow up since Zoe 101. And he was incredible in Elvis. Now, when I saw Elvis, my review of it is somewhere on my TikTok. There's actually a playlist of film reviews. So you kind of have to scroll, and then I would actually kind of not watch it, just listen because it's out of sync. TikTok had a problem over the summer. And my initial thoughts was that Tom Hanks might get some award recognition for his role in the movie, because I loved him in that role, and I figured Austin Butler might. I wasn't sure, but he has, and I'm very proud of him. I think he deserves the nominations that he's getting and the awards that he's gotten so far. But Brendan Fraser is definitely my favorite. It's such a good list. The only person from Best Actor whom I haven't seen is Adam Sandler in Hustle. But I have seen Living, I've seen Banshees, I've seen Elvis, I've seen The Whale, and Brendan Fraser is my favorite out of the ones that I've seen. And then kind of I wouldn't say surprise. I wouldn't say surprise. I don't think this was announced on television. I can't remember. But outstanding performance by a stunt ensemble in a motion picture. This award went to Top Gun, and they won over Avatar, The Batman, Black Panther, and Woman King. So out of all these movies, the only one I haven't seen is The Batman, which I believe is on HBO Max. I finally saw Avatar. Incredible film. Oh my goodness. So I don't know how I feel about Top Gun winning this award. I have to rewatch it just to see some of that stunt work and see how it plays. Uh, I don't know. I'm a little not confused, but I'm just curious. I may need to rewatch it again. Hmm. I mean, it's such a simple film. It's deep, it's simple. It's just very straightforward filmmaking. It's kind of, back to basics foundational filmmaking. And I think that might be its strength. I think it goes back to something that's very familiar, and I think that's one of the reasons why people love it so much. I think Hollywood is just trying to do too much, and they're trying to say too much. They're not really listening to people. They're not listening to moviegoers. They're not listening to people buying tickets. They're not engaged. They're not tapped in. They're clueless. And I think Top Gun really just speaks to where people are at and what people want in terms of entertainment. And I think that's one of the reasons why people love it so much. I mean, it's a great movie though, solid. I'm a little surprised by some of the nominations, but at the same time, not very surprised. It's just it's such a simple, well done, straightforward, back to basics kind of movie. So it'll be interesting to see how it performs at the Oscars. Now, the Oscars are in a little less than 2 weeks, March 12th. And I don't know anymore, y'all. I mean, if you had asked me, I would have said, Brendan Fraser for Best Actor, Kate Blanchett for Best Actress, but it could very well go to Michelle Yeoh. I think there's a high possibility that Everything Everywhere All at Once might pick up everything it's nominated for. I think it's a very real possibility. But the thing about the Oscars is even though it's some of the same voters, anything can happen. Crazier things have happened. Crazier things have happened. And this was such a good film year. I mean, I wouldn't say good film year, but the films that have been nominated thus far, solid. Solid. And except for Triangle of Sadness, I'm still very confused on that one. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the SAG Awards, what won, what didn't, and what this looks like for the Oscars in less than 2 weeks. I'm excited. I look forward to this stuff every year. I'm a nerd about it. Let me know what you thought if you watched. If you were as shocked as I was by Jamie Lee Curtis's win, I want to hear about it. Yeah, what are your does if you have predictions for the Oscars, does this kind of throw a wrench in your predictions? I just want to hear from you. Let me know what your thoughts are and keep a lookout for the next episode, and I will see you guys soon. Want to advertise on this podcast? Check the episode description to see how you can be featured on the next episode.